Hey guys, and welcome to another week of Scripture Art Journaling. Today's scripture comes from Colossians 3:2. It says, "Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth." This has been so important to me this week. I have been trying to focus on this because what I have discovered, and I'm going to take just a second to talk to you guys, you know, or most of you know, because you've been around for a little while, to find out that I used to deal with anxiety on a very, very high level. I was diagnosed with agoraphobia. I had panic attacks. I had diagnosed with PTSD. I was diagnosed with possible depression. Like they didn't know if it was manic or what. We didn't get that far, but I dealt with all of those issues. And God healed me miraculously, just healed me of those situations. And a lot of that healing came because I turned my eyes to Him and I stopped looking at the world. And I see a lot of people still dealing with their anxiety, and I understand it totally. I have not forgotten what that was like or where that comes from. But I've tried so hard to keep my focus on God. So when I get scared or when I feel anxious, literally, I'm going to tell you this because it's going to sound silly, but here's the truth. I say to myself, the worst thing that could happen to me is I would die, and then I would be with God. And it's like, it diffuses the situation for me. And I know that's probably a little crazy for some people. I know you probably don't get that, but it's the truth. When I get in those situations, I'm like, oh my gosh, this could happen or that could happen. I go, and if it does, then I get my reward now instead of waiting longer. And I really have gotten to the point where I think like that. So I love this verse because I do try to set my affections to things above. I do try to keep my mind on God because I know if I don't, I can fall right back into Satan's trap. And that's basically what I reminded myself of here. For example, the last line I wrote here says, "I fear without that focus, I could allow Satan to get a stronghold again. Simply must focus on God." And when I say again, I know when I was going through my panic and my agoraphobia, my PTSD, I know that was Satan's stronghold on me, and it's not there anymore, and I refuse to let him have it back. I refuse to, and I'm going to keep my mind focused on things above and keep praising God for healing because He's amazing, and He can do that for you too. I promise He can. Focus on Him. Jeremiah 29:11. Think about that verse, but not just 11. Go 29:11 through 13. "For I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future." But the trick is, and it says it in the scripture, you got to search for Him with all your heart. And that's what this is today. So, a little preaching from Maymay today. Sometimes I'm going to do that. Sometimes I'm going to get on my high horse. But now we're going to get busy. And I think I'm going to use the solid images of them too. I don't know. We're going to play around and see what happens. Okay. So, stamps. Get some blocks. And let's start with the butterfly first. And I've got some Brutus Monroe inks. These were so sweetly gifted to me. I opened a package in the mail the other day, and there were 3 inks sent to me from Brutus Monroe. Well, not from Brutus Monroe. They were sent to me from Glenda because she had gotten some extras in an order, and Christopher told her to share them, and she sent them to me, and I was so excited because these are the 2 new colors, and I don't have them. This one is called Marsala, and it is beautiful. I'm going to ink up the body of this butterfly with Marsala. So Glenda, if you're watching, thank you very much. I love these inks. They're very beautiful. So I'm going to ink that up. I don't know if I got good coverage, but I'm not looking for solid coverage. I'm going to take these butterflies on and off the page all the way around, and I'm going to leave the center for my verse. So look how pretty that color is. I love it. Let's bring that color down here too. So back to the ink. It really is a pretty Marsala color. Wasn't that the Pantone color last year, Marsala, that was the popular color? The one they say was going to be really, really popular. I can't remember. It might have been a different year, but I was thinking it was last year. So there's another butterfly, and let's do a dragonfly, but not in this same color. Let's do the dragonfly in Stargazer. Let me clean this. Let me show you what I've done. I took some of his Squeaky Clean because I know with this ink, if you want it off your stamps, you really do need the Squeaky Clean cleaner. And I put some on this chamois, and I'm just going to do this. And I don't really care if it stains my chamois. That's what I got it for, but it helps to clean the ink off of your stamps. So that's how I'm cleaning those, just if you're wondering. All right, back to stamping. So now to Stargazer. I need a block for you. Flip you over here. Didn't quite get you on there. Okay, so the Dragonfly Stargazer, which is a beautiful color. I love orange. I love orange and pink, so this is really working because that Marsala is not pink, but kind of it is. So here's a dragonfly right here, just like so. Let's do another one. Let's put one over here, flying this way. And then I'm going to bring another color in and do some more butterflies and dragonflies. I'm going to bring in the color Zest, and I'm going to do a butterfly and a dragonfly in Zest. This color is so pretty. Yellow, yellow. So let's do this butterfly coming like this. Maybe it was following that dragonfly. Look at that, that's cool. I think I'm going to add this bee. I have this bee in the Bee's Knees stamp set, and he's really cute, and I think I'm going to add him. Where do I want to put him, and what color? I want to use a different color. So let me dig into my inks. So I'm going to use this color called Locomotive, because this bee is a bee, right? And then I'll use some colors to give him some yellow. And this Locomotive color is not a solid black. It's really pretty. It's kind of a charcoaly color. Let me show you. Isn't that pretty? It's almost a navy even. Like I can feel some properties of navy, which I think is beautiful. Now I'm going to dig into my VersaFine ink, and I'm going to go to those butterfly and dragonfly images, and I'm going to finish these that we inked earlier, and I'm just going to stamp that image on top of the solid image because it's a layering image is how those work. I really love this together. I'm really not trying to line them up perfect. I kind of have an issue where I just tend to line them up perfect, but I'm not trying to. I really want them to be a little bit like off, but that's okay. I'm not gonna stress about it. I love their little antenna and things. This really brings that little image to life. Let's do this little guy here. There we go. One more of those. I'm going to come in with that same Bee's Knees stamp set has this little stitch swirly line. I'm going to come in with it and kind of connect these guys. But I'm leaving the center open because I want to do some text in the middle for my scripture. I'm going to use this bright yellow. This is CT1 in Spectrum Noir. So I'm going to color him in bright yellow. And you're noticing that I'm using Spectrum Noir with the Brutus Monroe inks. You can do it. Once they dry, they are permanent and you can mix them together. I think that's super cool. Let's do his little face. By the way, this is Nina cardstock. A lot of people have asked me about that recently, and it is just Nina bright white. And I actually picked this up at Office Depot, but I usually get it at an office supply place. So there's my little bee. Now then, what else can we do? Let's move this out of the way. And I think I'm going to start on my lettering. I'm going to kind of do, I think I'm going to do some little lines to help me out this week. I usually don't do this because I usually don't get this picky about it. But I think because I'm going to do set your mind on things above, I've got to kind of fit everything in. So I'm going to do a line here. I'm going to take a pencil, line that up, and just do a very faint line here for the word set. And then your mind is going to come down here. I'm using my grid mat. You see, I'm taking the ruler across and using the grid mat to help me line it up. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty close. And then that's about 1 inch apart, so let's do another line here. And I don't have to stick with these lines. This is just a good guideline for where to be, so you kind of get where you need to be here. That totally didn't make sense, but it will as we get going. All right, so I'm just making some lines, which I can erase. No biggie. And I'm going to look at this now. I want to do set your mind on things above, and then Colossians 3. Well, that's going to be just enough. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to start with the word set. And I'm just going to kind of doodle these letters and just see what I come up with. So I'm going to do